Over the past few years, it seems like the hot new thing for pop culture companies is to make a theme park for their iconic characters. Marvel's been doing it with their Avengers, Nintendo too, so is it likely for a Sonic the Hedgehog theme park to theme park? The answer is surprisingly hopeful. 2021 was the year of Sonic's 30th anniversary, meaning it was the year of revealing plans of the future and the release of stellar games. Okay, maybe that last part's a lie, but the first half it certainly wasn't. That same year, an article released between an interviewer and the head of Sonic team himself, Takashi Iizuka, the man, the go-to in Sonic the Hedgehog. In this article, he goes on about how Sonic the Hedgehog being a Hollywood figure used to be a dream of his. Iizuka later goes on to say, I quote, "One of these current dreams is a Sonic theme park. Wouldn't that be cool? Can we get Sonic to be a character with enough notoriety and popularity so that we could have a theme park built around Sonic the Hedgehog?" Well, considering the fact I'm seeing Sonic's face plastered around more than ever, Sonic is definitely in the most popular position he's ever been in. So, in other words, as far as our hope for a Sonic theme park, the only thing stopping that is just the possibility that, oh, they're bluffing for attention, which I mean, just no. Even I, the biggest Sonic Team Sega hater, knows that simply doesn't work. I mean, looking back what Sonic Team defines as a dream. The Sonic movies used to be a dream, but that happened twice, and the Sonic VTuber models were a dream at that time, but just so happened to come alive 5 times later that year. So that definitely means dream to the managers of Sonic Team is definitely something they'd be willing to do if they had the tools to do it. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, as far as a theme park, yeah, they definitely do. Here's a little known fact about Sega. They're the most theme park experienced gaming company by 20 football fields. There's about 30 of these across the world, and granted, a lot of them closed down or went bankrupt, but that's not because of the quality. These attractions were considered universally superb by its vibrant events, architecture, and activities. The problem with these parks is that it was being advertised under the name Sega, meaning 80% of the activities were under properties people don't care about. Ergo, the attraction isn't nearly as iconic as, say, the word Sonic, because let's be real, if this video is titled, "Is a Sega theme park possible?" you probably would not have been as eager to click. Now, as bad as Sonic Movie 2 and Prime personally are, both of these projects have been making Sonic a household name, and with upcoming sequels, that name is secure to advance, especially under these hands. So now we have reasons why Sonic Team would do this, could do this, and should do this. The only thing they don't know is how to do it, which is where I have brought it the duty of the guy who hasn't been called smart since 3rd grade math to pitch to you all the overly undiscussed potential of what a Sonic the Hedgehog theme park would look like. So grab a glass of orange juice and let's begin. Did you know that in Florida's Disney World, a child is reported missing around 11 times a day? That's more than the entire city of Las Vegas and Nevada. So why is this the case? Well, while Disney would like to tell you this statistic is because of, oh, there's so many clumsy parents, majorly the reason comes down to the layout of these parks for quite a clever reason. If you've ever been to one, you've probably noticed what I'm talking about, and if you don't, I'm referring to literally every amusement park's decision to always place the exit where the entrance is, as it not only makes the entrance more crowded, therefore look popular, it also forces the pathway to be in a simple circular motion, meaning no matter where you want to go to, you will always pass by a good chunk of the area for you to at least consider going to, making your visit more worthwhile. Assuming your child isn't kidnapped. And so now that we know that the park needs to go in a little loop-de-loop, there's technically no restriction on what that circular path must be, so my plan is a little stylized in the embers of Sonic's head. Now this sounds super silly, but you'll see how this is brilliant in just a second. Remember that time Sonic was Lego? No? Okay, take a look at how the Lego Sonic map culminates the series' adventures into super small land by splitting the plot up into seamless regions. Considering we are probably making a deal with Universal and the studios just like Nintendo is, we are also using compact land, so let's just copy yet another idea by dividing the park into 3 memorable areas. First being the stylized forest that's in about every Sonic game, second an Eggman-esque friendly spot that would look stellar at night, and my favorite, Seaside Hill, Ocean View, Seagate, Ocean Gate, whatever you want to call it. It's iconic and better than anyone who suggests a casino or toxic factory region. Anywho, hitting number 1 on this list, let's get with the coolest spot, Seaside Hill. With the native rocks, rushing waterfalls, gigantic trees, and outline of sand, Seaside Hill is just a beautiful place to introduce when you first pass the staggering gold Sonic statue at the entrance. Now, as for the activity here, it's going to be go-karting. Although the fact that this track being above a pool of water might be a hazard for lawsuits, this is honestly a necessary addition because 1. Go-karting is already insanely prevalent to Seaside Hill in game appearances, and 2. Sonic already has brand new go-karts, so bringing them into real life would almost feel like a video game. which is good in this case. So long as standard safety measures are implemented, such as controlled speed limits and tires along guardrails, this should be an incredibly immersive, adrenaline-inducing experience that kicks this list off beautifully, especially if you spot Big the Cat in the corner, which brings me to the next region, the forest area. The forest area is just nothing more than carnival-like minigames based on Sonic characters. For example, Amy's would just be whack-a-mole with Badnik and her hammer. In this case, Big's Big Fishing Adventure 4. That's right, if the first one is a console game, second hidden game, the third flash game, then the fourth must be in real life. Character design shut up. Pretty much in this, Big bestows you his greatly vague knowledge of fishing that doing nothing, and tests you to see if you're worthy of being a fishing champion. You get a replica of his signature fishing stick, a time limit of maybe 2 minutes, and an attempt to collect as many rings, bags of rings, or red star rings you can into your bucket. All these collectibles worth different amounts based on their fetch difficulty, and if we could, there would be one robotic frog in the water, so if someone manages to pull it out, they find Froggy. Either way, you're still gonna get some tickets off your score, so yeah. As far as Tails, I don't know, what I thought is like those reaction speed based plane missions, but then I realized nobody likes them, so we had to move on to something else. Lastly, for Knuckles, what I personally opt for is like a hang glider ride surrounded by a huge section of just rock climbing playground things. That would be really in character because, this is like stuff Knuckles would actually do. Other than that, the first part is basically wrapped up. It really is carried by the atmosphere and spots for moms to take pictures. You could have those rings that float around like the Universal Studio coins in Hollywood Mario Land. Better yet, those old chubby Sonic suits should just be walking around to take photos and alert people about Sonic and Eggman's lair, which brings a tropical resort. This part's the grooviest, the grandest, the coolest region. Think real life tropical resorts having the looks of those rich coastal hotel pools combined with the fun activities of urban air. There's trampolines to jump and flip, walls to run on, foam pits, vending machines, ices, and my two favorite things, dash ring, ziplining, yeah, just like in the games, and the exclusive Sonic Dash Plus. What is Sonic Dash Plus? Well, it's something I made up, but I think it's very important to include. I mean, we know Sonic Dash is successful given the fact that it is quite literally the best-selling Sonic game of all time. So when I say this big screen experience will be a revitalized one, I do not say that lightly. It'll retain the same 3-path infinite run idea, just more stylish, more cool, and lastly, more real. I'm talking fans around the screen that blow wind on ya, surround speakers playing sound effects, and most crucially, when you're playing, you're not using a joystick like it's an arcade. No, it is controlled by a real-life board able to twist and turn to make sure you get that Sonic feeling of Ice Cap, City Escape, and City Escape. Those levels are such iconic pieces of Sonic history though. Having this activity set up in glass booths 8 feet above the passing visitors, switching paths to collect ticket bonuses and go off rims that initiate a vibrating spring you can feel. This attraction to be the most memorable way of serving an interactive Sonic park in such a space-restricted area. Now, I know what you've been waiting for. A roller coaster, huh? Where has that been all this video? And I'm ready to show you. Welcome to Eggman's Funhouse, Warehouse, Factory, whatever. It's the place that assembles his badniks. It has 2 sections. One, just goofy laser tag between Team Hero and Team Dark. That's for the boys. Here's what's for the men. A Sonic Speed roller coaster. If you've ever been to the 4D Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios, then you know what I mean when I say this is going to be full of immersion. Eggman's voice is going to be giving exposition over the intercom while you're in line surrounded by fog, steam, and lines of badniks on conveyor belts. And the actual ride is just as crazy. Alarm lights, Sonic stylishly landing on Eggman building this world-ending device, classic one-on-one banter. A huge flashy fight that bursts real fire next to you but sparks real electricity while the roller coaster's drifting and chasing until you leave the 4D world by going through an actual loop-de-loop that emerges from the entrance view just to show how exhilarating this attraction is. Now with all the activities over, we can get to the food cart. As far as actual food served, it really doesn't matter, but if Sweet Paradise could make a menu like how they did for the Sonic Forces restaurants, that would be amazing, but obviously not necessary. What matters more is the atmosphere, which requires 1, Eggman branding, so like you could hear Eggman explaining why Sonic needs to be wiped off the face of the earth on a little TV, and 2, tropical resort branding, so like wisp flavored soda machines and motor powered Ferris wheels that act as vending machines. Now we can get on to the last section of this video, the gift shop. It doesn't have to be crazy. Besides obvious things like keychains and hats, here's a list of like some cool items I've thought of. Shao plushies, candy dispensers with Tails the Tornado at the top as a fan, mini arcade machines of Sonic 1, wind-up race cars, glow-in-the-dark wisp castles that play their respective sound effects, blind boxes of character statues, and snow globes of different regions in the park. So there it is, the Piggy Poo Pro vision of what a Sonic the Hedgehog theme park would look like. If you have any suggestions, comment. If you think I'm a dummy, also comment, because, returning after 2 years, even though you said you'd return after 2 weeks last video, kinda deserves some insulting. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great day, and don't worry, I have videos prepared to release for the next few weeks, so you guys can be entertained. Or do I?